And in Cahokia, let me show you how powerful we realized what was going on. In a week's time, we had a market cap of 56 million. A market capitalization of 56 million. I woke up to an account one morning. I was like, oh, right?
Yeah.
Instant millionaires through us. We ain't went nowhere. We didn't go nowhere. That was just a handful of people. When people catch on to Cahokia coin, if you get in now, we're talking about our coin is at 1 cent. It went from 0.00049 and it's at 1 cent now. People are calling me, thanking me. Chief, thank you. You changed my life.
Wow.
We don't need the federal government money no more. In order for us, let me do one better for you, brother. If I pay your bills, if I'm feeding your family, if I'm giving you food stamps and I'm making sure that you eat, I don't work for you. You're my dependent. Democrats don't get that. People who afford them, we want to take care of the people. We want to give the people back. Businessmen don't want you to take care of them.
They want to feed themselves.
They want to feed themselves. But as long as I'm feeding you, what you going to tell me? Take this immunization shot. Since you're in public schools that we pay for. 10 years later, oh, well, that caused ovarian cancer in children.
Infomercials. Yeah, we start seeing them late at night.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Eat this food that we give your children in public school. Because that's free. We're giving you free stuff.
Free breakfast.
Free breakfast. Free lunch. Free this, free that. And if I'm giving you something free, I'm not giving you top quality stuff.
Especially in America.
Especially not in America.
Capitalistic society. Something for free.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, in order for us to free, because I'm going back to what you asked originally,
Yes,
we have to unify for a common cause and understand that the only way we're going to be free is be a part of the solution for the government, not hinder the government. Stop asking for stuff. If enough of us come together and understand who we are, where we come from, and we have a common goal, Yamasi has their own cryptocurrency called Cahokia coin. If I buy $5 of that coin, and then I tell my brother about it, he buys $5. My coin instantly just was created. It created value.
Yes,
and then he tells somebody. And you understand? That's all Bitcoin is. But it doesn't support anybody. It doesn't support any tribes. Now, let's fast forward, because our true project is our own blockchain. We've already created our own blockchain called Native, N8IV. Our own blockchain allows other tribes now to create their own cryptocurrency and be financially dependent and free.
Yes, sir.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Not just that, a whole plethora of things that we can do to be financially free. Because again, your identity is easy. You've already found out who you were. You've proven who you were. To get a federal tribal ID card just means you want to be accepted, but be accepted amongst people who are like you, who had to fight the same fight you had to fight. And now build your economy together. Through cryptocurrency now, we don't need to be federally recognized, which I've always said we weren't trying to be. We create our own financial and economic stimulus. We create our own freedom.
Mm-hmm.
We create our own insurance companies.
Yes, sir.
You can do all that now with cryptocurrency. Your own banking institutions. It's real simple. And tribes still haven't caught on because we're focused on casinos.
Yep.
Low-hanging fruit. We're going to dangle that in front of you.
It's the trinkets. Yeah.
You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Be federally recognized and you get your own casino. Okay, you got one. Now what? You can quadruple your casino's value with cryptocurrency if you make all your players
Yeah, I see what you're
use
saying.
crypto to gamble.
Yeah, with the sports betting as well. That's huge.
Come on, brother.
You're right. You're thinking big.
This is what we do.
That's insane with your own coin at that. Yeah.
No
Wow.
federal recognition.
That's genius. Yeah.
We do it all legal. We dot the I's, cross the T's.
Mm-hmm.
We keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because again, we've already seen, we've been waiting 400 years for someone to give us something and it ain't came yet. That's like waiting on Jesus. We're still waiting on Jesus to come back. And I ain't trying to make this religious,
No,
but
for
we're still
sure.
waiting.
Yeah.
And as long as we're waiting on that, come
Yeah.
on. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And that's the only thing that I'm saying to people. I have to say it in this way because I want our people to really understand it's the equivalent to a Christian, right? If God does everything good for you, the devil does everything bad. What are you being judged for to go to heaven for? What did you do?
Tested. Yeah, I was never tested.
You was never tested. You didn't do anything. You were not in control of your life at all. God did everything good. The devil did everything bad. So I can't be denied going to heaven. Come on, make it make sense.
Yeah.
So we live in a world where the disagreeable one rules. And we're waiting for something to be given to us. And it takes money to do that. It takes money to do that. And I truly feel like there's only a short amount of time that we have to even accomplish these things. So for those who wait, you know what I'm saying? But then once you get that money, what do you do with it? You gonna live your best life? Or do you look at history, what you just experienced with COVID, every time the government shuts down, and you buy the necessary things it is to take care of your family and make sure they continue to eat? Do you go and buy tractor supplies? Do you go buy machinery? Because at the end of the day, we got to eat. We need fresh water, right? See, these are all the things we need to talk about when it comes to this identity we call indigenous or Native American. Because once you identify, what do you do next? You go around with a card and you say, yeah, I'm Indian. I'm Indian. Or I'm a part of the tribe. What's next? Because I can tell you again, when the feds shut down, Native American tribes were scampering. What are we going to do? Daddy's money just stopped. You get me?
Yes,
and I'm not trying to disrupt anything. I want us to start using common sense, because at the end of the day, what is it really about? Acceptance and economic stimulus or dependency, financial freedom, acceptance, being accepted as who you are, your heritage, which should be very important to you, because that means you're, again, what I said last interview, you're recognizing those who came before you who had to fight and didn't have cars and Mercedes-Benzes and all the different things and iPhones. They had to live. They had to struggle. Sometimes they ate the same thing over and over again when you can't decide what you're going to eat tonight because you get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So recognizing your heritage, recognizing your ancestors, what they had to do for you to be here, because trust and believe me, they died for your existence. They did everything for you to be here. Now we recognize that heritage. Now we recognize who I am, but I'm not accepted by mainstream. But I do have a group of people over here, like the Yamasi and the other groups and tribes, who will accept me, and they have a plan. Let's go. Let's go. And I don't want to liken this to a new Yamasi war, because it's not. It's a new Yamasi unity, because that's all we did the first time, unify our brothers and sisters. That's it. Let's unify. Let's come together. Let's do something different. Go ahead, because you know me. I'll get on it.
No, listen. Hey, that's why, man, I'm sitting down, soaking up the game, Chief. Receipt time, man. You got all the receipts here.
100%.
Hollywood, Florida. Very popular town. Everybody knows about that. Broward County.
Now I'm going to put my old man glasses
Hey,
on,
let's
because you
do
told me
it.
old
Yes,
earlier.
sir. Hey, it's time for class right
Yes,
now. All right. Total area,
Mhm.
42,700 acres, which is huge. There have been no individual allot reservation. The state of Florida has 104,000 acres adjoining the Florida State Indian Reservation by the Seminole Tribe, Northern Muskogee. The fishing rights on this land, most known as Seminole. The name Yamasi, driven from the Carolinas, Oconee, from is it the Apalacolia? How do you pronounce that?
Apalacola or Appalachian is the
Yeah, I was thinking about that, of the root word. After the Creek War, all of whom whites. Their ranks were swelled by refuge and freedom among the owners to recover these slaves, led to campaigns in 1814 and it has 181A. The Seminole hostility and fear they felt toward the young, tribally owned 42,700. All land is tribal, is all tribally elements.
I'll summarize it for you.
Or it's separate? Okay.
Yeah, so it's separate. But what I'll summarize it for you, and what it's basically saying is that these Seminoles, who are Yamasi, Oconee-speaking Yamasi,
got you,
were being chased, considered runaways.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the Seminole people like to say, and why this is important, which is, let's do one better. I'll show you this
that's
one.
the part, right there.
The people who came to be known, because what it does, it runs over. The people who came to be known as Seminole, the name means runaway, were Yamasi, driven from the Carolinas in 1715.
Yeah.
Hitchiti-speaking Oconee from the Apalachicola River, and Creeks fleeing Georgia. After the Creek War, all of whom were fugitives from the whites. Their ranks were swelled by fugitive slaves who found refuge and freedom amongst the Indians. Let's go back and read this again in case people didn't catch that. Again, this says Big Cypress Reservation.
Yes, sir.
It talks about the history, and it talks about the land that the Seminole people have today. And it talks about the history. This is from the Department of the Interior. And I'll read it again in case no one caught that. The people who came to be known as Seminole, and they have that in quotes.
Yes, sir.
The name means runaway, not wild ones, not anything other than runaways. Yeah. That's very important because people like to play phonetics and they like to play these little games. Oh, it means wild ones, runaways. No. You can't use wild one and runaway in the same term. Yes. Something wild is just that, right? Now we can apply that to the people if you want to consider them savages or beasts, which is what they were trying to say is. But this specifically from the Department of the Interior, and what they say means runaway. They were Yamasee, driven from the Carolinas in 1715. Hitchiti-speaking Oconee from the Apalachicola River, and Creeks fleeing Georgia. Now, we'll stop there.
Yes.
That simplistically says it and outlines it. Uncle Sam, this is Uncle Sam's document, not Chief Se'khu's, not Caleb's. Uncle Sam is saying that the Seminoles were Yamasee, hands down. Let's go back again. How was the Yamasee identified? As Negroes. Yep. Blacker than any other tribe. Blacker than the Creeks, they will say. Darker than. Now, we'll stop because it also says Creeks in Georgia. So they're identifying the Seminoles as Yamasee, these black Bolak people, and these Creeks from Georgia. But specifically, the Yamasee, who was Oconee Hitchiti speaking people, which is our language. We speak Hitchiti, right? In Wache unke Hitchiti. In Haji unke Hitchiti. We speak Hitchiti. Now, grab that book.
Yes, sir.
Because the key was Creeks from Georgia.
The invention of the Creek Nation.
Say it one more time.
The invention of the Creek Nation, 1670 to 1763.
Wow. You invented the Creek Nation? So then these people could not be
invented.
Creeks.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so your viewers are going to say, well, Muskogee. These are the Muskogee people in our language, Muskukali. You know what Muskogee is?
No.
It's a language.
Yeah.
It's not a people. Don't believe me. Look it up for yourself.
Wow.
There was no Muskogee people. There was no Creek people. So who are we talking about here? Who are we talking about? You got the book in your hand. That's written by who? What's the author name so they can look it up?
The author on the name,
Nebraska. I'm not mistaken, it's Stephen Hahn? Who wrote that? Excuse me.
Yep. Stephen C. Hahn.
Okay.
University of Nebraska Press. Yeah. University. So try arguing with that. Yes.
So we have two major elements now.
Indeed.
So everything we done talked about now, we're going back to, again, understanding what has been taken from us in our heritage.
Yeah.
If we are the actual Seminoles, I'll say to you again, go back to YouTube in case y'all missed it the first time. Look up Willie Johns. And he's doing a presentation, I think, with USF or UF, University of Florida. And he says, really, we're not the Seminoles. We're just the first ones incorporated. What do you do with that? The closest of our relatives are the Miccosukee. And really, it's Mickey-Suki. Miki in our language is a Hitchiti word, Miki. Suki. Suki is the word for pig. So they were being called the king of the pigs. But they were considered Hitchiti as well, which is why most of the Miccosukee people are darker skinned. Those are the closer to our relatives. When you look at the images online and you look at the quote, black Seminole women that we put out first, and you see Ruby Tiger and the rest of them, those are Miccosukee women. My people are from Miccosukee, Florida. That's where my family are, the Jones, Sam Jones, Abiaka, what I talked to you about last time.
Yes, sir.
My grandfather. Dark-skinned people. Hair with locks. You get what I'm saying? Our heritage is being taken. And the only thing we're saying is we're waiting on somebody to step to us and say, hey, How do we fix this before y'all take it to another level? Because I can't promise what my children or grandchildren are going to do or how they may fight for what they feel is theirs. The door is open for the conversation. Mm-hmm. We're having conversation with the traditional Mikosuke. Wow. Shout out to Leroy Osceola and family and whatnot. One of the realest Mikosuke I've met and known. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But these are the things we need to be talking about because you can't overlook this. This ain't made up. And then we have to go back to what else I gave you.
There you go. Library of Congress, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Indeed. This right here. The Statutes at Large of South Carolina, edited under authority of the legislature, Thomas Cooper, containing acts from 1716. Wow.
And that is a certified copy from the library.
Wow. Yeah, it has it right here. Reference Library of South Carolina, Department of Archives. So, Chief, check this out. Of course, we always talk about 1619, but the 1619 project, but we were here well before that.
100%.
This document, can you please break this down? Because we get lost in this slavery narrative that our history starts on this land at 1619. However, this states otherwise. What is this document right here?
That document was the first Indian reservation in the United States allotted to the Yamasee tribe by the Lord proprietors. That document talks about the importance of the relationship they needed to have with the Yamasee people, the Negroes, who were considered the first Coast Guards for the United States.
We don't like water, though. That's what they say, huh?
We live next to the coast. That document highlights the importance of having a relationship with the Yamasee people who are identified as Negroes who protected the coast for the British against the Spanish. And how important it was to maintain that relationship. And that document talks about the land that was perpetually, in perpetuity, given to the Yamasee so that it never can be taken away from them. There's portions of South Carolina that has never been treated. It can't be because there's a law that protected it. There's portions of South Carolina. That's why we had to be extinct, because that was the only other outcome that would make that document null and void. So when we went to war in 1715, what they did was they tried to amend it. Right? They tried to amend it and was like, oh, no, this is no longer null and void. The Yamasee no longer exists. And they were like, oh, we can't. So they repealed it, making it still a living entity. That is a law. This is why our relationship with the state and the senators are so good. They know we haven't asked for anything yet. And we're trying to do it as amicable as possible. We're trying to do this as peace and positive as possible, because we understand how this would affect one of the largest economic hubs in South Carolina, Hilton Head.
Whoa. All right, Chief. Sid just laughed because I'm going to tell you why. That is our favorite place to go to. My parents, that's where they used to honeymoon. We grew up around that area. Hearing this is crazy because we were just talking about Hilton Head on the way here.
No coincidences.
Wow. Break that down for us, Hilton Head, because that landmass, Europeans, they love being in there. They love stealing that land. Why is that landmass so important?
So let me break it down to you and how all of this plays a part.
Wow.
And again, we're not trying to disrupt anything. We're still workable.
Yeah.
So when you say the Hiltons, Paris Hilton and the rest of them, they have a history that spans. Their wealth is based on Yamasee. Their wealth has been dependent on that because Hilton Head is named after one of the Hiltons who fought and enslaved the Yamasee people and said, we got it covered on this end. Oh, that's your land. And then inside of that, you have Beaufort.
Yep.
Who is Beaufort? Interesting. Who is Hampton? Who is Barnwell? These are the counties that are named after the generals and people who fought against us, who enslaved our people and was given, quote, the land. Barnwell, Hampton, the only one that's not that way is Allendale. Allendale isn't named after one of the people who fought against us. Matter of fact, we have a great working relationship with the Allens.
Wow.
But that's the history behind it. The Hiltons were one of the ones who enslaved the people. And now it's a major tourist location.
Yes, sir.
It's a tourist spot where the wealthiest people in the United States come and buy land. We're fighting right now a land developer on behalf of the Gullah people. Whole nother conversation.
was going to ask you about that next.
Oh,
Chief.
that's a whole nother conversation. That will take a whole nother podcast, brother.
Crazy.
I promise you.
That was just about to be my
promise
next
you, because I
question.
would have a lot of people pissed off with me with that one.
Yeah, I'll save it then.
we are now helping the Gullah Geechee now try to maintain and save land that has been purchased by a developer who wants to come in and disrupt burial lands, sacred places. This is what they do. This is what they do. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But in order for them to accomplish that, they had to first do what? Write us out. Because that statute is living. That can't be changed. That can never be changed. There is nothing they can do about that. And we've had to play chess to understand the dynamics of the disruption it will cause other people's lives. So we're asking people who live in these areas, hey, help us figure out a solution to this. Because is it right for our land to be taken from us? We exist. We're still here. Authors are writing about us. Denise Bossy, Chester the Prater, Stephen Hahn, they write about us. They say, hey, these Yamasee people are still here. But that's what that is about. That's what all this has been about. The land. Go back to the original conversation. We are a chess piece. We are a political identity. Our history has been obscured from us for a reason. It is more mutually beneficial for you all to say that you are African American. And I can promote the Gullah Geechee history, because as long as I'm promoting these histories and keeping you away from this land, you have no rights to that 40 acres and a mule you keep begging us for. As long as you keep saying you are something without proper knowledge and history and information, you can't argue. You're not from here. Only the original people can argue this land. So now there's a reawakening again that we have to do, because we're like, hey, all you that are saying Gullah, you're not all Gullah from Africa. Angola. There was a group of people just coincidentally called the Wali, spelled G-U-A-L-E. If I add an A to that, the same way they changed the word Yamasee in South Carolina, because now we're no longer Yamasee in South Carolina, we're Yamasee. They put an E there.
Seen that.
But if I take Gullah, if I take Wali, G-U-A-L-E, and add an A to it, what you got?
Gullah.
Plain and simple.
Paper genocide.
Paper genocide. We talked about that last time. Now let's add what? Geechee.
Yeah.
What is a Geechee? People say, oh, they were rice eaters. No, stop. It's a Hichiti word. Ukichi. 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 Your water. Our water. Water. Where was the Gullah people located? Next to the
water.
Water.
You can see that today.
You can see it today.
To a Hilton Head. In the marshlands. Yeah.
Ukichi. Phonetics, time, it changes. You see? Yes. But they have our people. As long as the Gullah people who have not identified their Native American heritage and their bloodline, and a lot of them will tell you, yeah, my grandma was Indian, but you're proclaiming to be African.
West African. Yeah.
So as long as you're arguing, and again, not everybody, a lot of them do have African ancestry. A lot of them do have that. I'm trying to figure out why are you running then from the Oyotunji? There's an African village there that they're from Africa. They have a sovereign land there. Yeah. The king, who was my good friend, one of my best friends, just died. He just got murdered a couple months ago. Why aren't you going there and celebrating with them? Because their African culture and tradition don't match up with the Gullah Geechee. I know personally, we've witnessed it. What they do as Africans there does not match up with the Gullah Geechee do. You understand?
Yes, sir.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And we become the bad guys when we reveal facts, history, truth. I pulled out on Instagram, again, Yamasee Tribe, a slew of documents. I went live and pulled the documents out where colleges, universities are saying exactly what I said. The Gullah Geechee were identified as Black Seminoles. Let's take away the word black. Let's go to Seminoles. We have Gullah Geechee historians who will tell you how the Yamasee came and saved them. So I told you again, we can go deep, and I'm just skimming on it. But I don't want to jump too hard on the Gullah Geechee people, because, again, when you've been told something for so long and you accept that without any other further knowledge or investigation, I get it. But now it's the time to investigate. We're no longer subject to being ignorant for no cause. That go for our sisters, our brothers. You no longer have a reason to be ignorant. If you do, you choose to be. If you take an aggressive stance on information that's new to you versus just going out and read, then that's what you choose to do. If you want to defend something and don't know what you're defending it for, that's just because who you are and your character. And most of the time it's because we have been programmed to fight for something and we don't even know what we're fighting for. And because once I learn who I am, once I finally get a grasp of this is who I am, how dare you come and disrupt and give me some more information and tell me other than that? So we get a lot of, slack from people saying, well, that not everybody is Yamasi. You're saying that everybody's Yamasi. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you look at the root word of Gullah and you're just coincidentally in the same place of a tribe or people called the Wali, who just coincidentally happen to be a part of the Yamasi Confederacy. When you look at the words, you look at the location, when you look at that place that you are in the Sea Islands and all that was a part of the original Yamasi reservation, according to the statute at large, 1 + 1
equals 2.
Not no damn 8.
Indeed.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we have so much to work on is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But it goes back to, again, simple economics. What are we doing all this for? Equality.
Yeah.
And here's what happens when we decide we want to come together on an equal playing field under unity. We now can go to, as constituents, to Senator whoever, Congressman whoever, Clyburn or whoever your favorite congressman is, and say, hey, how do you make this right? And I'm hoping this video gets to these people because we did almost 250,000 views last time.
Yeah, we're almost at 250 right now.
Okay, so
we're going to do way more with this one.
We're going to do way more.
Yeah.
But share the video to the right people.
Yes, sir.
Because there ain't nothing I made up here.
No.
This is all documented. Everything that I said, from the Gullah to everything else, I bought receipts right here.
Yes, sir. And we about to get into his award too. Man, Chief, I'm enjoying this thoroughly. One document in particular you showed me talked about Oklahoma. Do you know which one that was?
All of them.
Yeah, I know.
About Oklahoma.
One talked about Oklahoma, and economics, to your point, is very big for us. And yes. Dr. Claude Anderson talked about powernomics, right? Mm-hmm. And one of those staple that we've seen over time was Black Wall Street, which so happened to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right.
However, though, where people skip over, how did all these quote unquote Black folk end up in Tulsa? Some people say slavery, but I think of the Trail of Tears as well. But if you can, through all the receipts that you have where it speaks about Oklahoma, can you please break that down of how those people ended up in Oklahoma?
Because they wanted to send us to places when they realize again that we can't beat them. We want to send you to a place that we don't want.
I got to get rid of you.
I got to get rid of you.
Wow.
So they sent them to a place that was desolate. They sent them to a place that really they couldn't grow. They couldn't, they really couldn't farm the way you would in a more fertile soils and stuff like that. So Oklahoma became that resting hub for us where we had to learn to adjust. Hence, I see when you said it, I want to bring this up so you can read it for them.
Yes, sir.
Because again, and let me just read this top. So they say, let me show it. The Extra Census Bulletin, the 5 Civilized Tribes. Wow. This is the Department of the Interior Census Office reference copy. So there's nothing we're reading.
Can't argue this way.
We can't argue about. Read the bottom. Just read off the name of the tribes there. What's in front of those names?
These tribes right here, right?
At the bottom. Go. There you go.
The table shows whites, 3,289. Creek Indians enrolled as such, 9,291. Here we go. Negroes enrolled as such, 4,628. Many of whom are Negro Creeks and claimants. 708 Indians other than Creeks, given in detail above. 3 Chinamen. Let's see, the 708 Indians other than Creeks are 462 Cherokees, 172 Seminoles, 31 Choctaws, 9 Chickasaws, 1 Stockbridge, 1 Sioux, 1 Canadian Indian, 3 Shawnees, and 28 are those Potawatomis. That's how it's pronounced? Potawatomis. It is probable then that in Coweta, we have Coweta County, Georgia, which is a very popular district. The Uchis may have been enrolled among those of Negro descent. Some enrolled as white, may have been quarter and eighth bloods. Look, we sit back on that one. Statistics of Indians, and again, Extra Census Bulletin, the 5 civilized tribes that we always hear about.
And you can go through that whole book and just watch contradiction after contradiction after contradiction, things that just doesn't make sense. It's no explanation to it. So you talk about Oklahoma, and think about this. Let's give a little history. I introduced you to a guest, which is one of my tribal members and a family member, Denise Vasquez Welch.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Right? A direct descendant of John Horse.
Yes, sir.
Who founded Wawanka, where the Seminole tribe is?
John Horse.
John Horse. What's he identified as?
Seminole.
Seminole. A Negro Seminole.
Indeed.
And he found it where the Seminole Nation is located. Think about that.
Yeah.
The answer to your question is within what you know. And again, this isn't about disrupting anything. This is to inform. Great relationship with Chief Johnson. We sat down, we talked, and we spoke for quite some time.
Yes, sir.
I knew who he knew. He knew who I knew. You know what I mean? I grew up in this. So we had a great relationship.
Yeah.
The issue isn't with our Seminole brothers and sisters. The issue is really with ourselves and those who are less informed. Now, prior to Chief Johnson, there might have been an issue because you had a chief that was in office, and I don't want to say his name, but it was a chief that was in office that was anti-black. And you mean,
Wow.
he was like, no, I don't want you around me. But when you're dealing with progressive people who understand the dynamics and history, because Chief Johnson came from Miami, Florida. He came from Brighton Reservation. He knows what's on the reservation. He knows who his people are. He acknowledges the people. He's also subservient to the general council. So he can't make anything move unless the council agrees to it. So now if the council is those who have the belief and thought process of the previous chief, then no, there's going to be no progress. But to again go back to your question, we was put there purposely because they thought they was taking something away from us. The Trail of Tears.
Yeah.
That Trail of Tears is about that Negro element. You can't mistake it. And let's do one better. Let's do one better. If there are Negroes that exist outside of the fact that John Horse fought for where they were located, but if there's Negroes that existed that traveled to Oklahoma and these Negroes weren't put into slavery and they held positions in the Creek Nation, how was that possible in a time where all of them were supposed to be slaves coming from Florida?
It doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Man, this is powerful, Chief. I see right here, Jackson County. Is this in Georgia or Florida, if you know?
Most of that is actually inside of Oklahoma.
Inside of Oklahoma, Jackson County, Oklahoma. Wow. Wow. This is, guys, I'm telling you, you can't fight against this information. Pan-Africanism, Chief, I'm starting to, I don't want to say grow like a hatred towards it, but disdain, I would say, of it. Because to me, it doesn't make sense of everybody thinking that everybody who's black is from Africa. And we have so many college professors that push this. And even when it's time to vote, they say that you're African and you're African.
And be proud of your African ancestry. What we called before we was called African Americans.
And that's my point right there. And that was what, 1988?
Yeah.
Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
So it's just from.
And slightly prior to Jesse, because people want to coin Jesse as the spearhead behind that. But that happened slightly before Jesse Jackson as well. But he just pushed it home. Again, and I ask everybody, why are people of color the only ones wearing a prefix before the name American?
There you go.
We don't meet people who say they're British American.
Yeah. German American.
German Americans.
Italian American.
Italian Americans.
Irish.
Come on.
I'm just American.
What?
But us, we have to be African American.
And they openly tell you they're not from here.
And they just got here. You're talking about 1940s, 1930s, 20s. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So our indigenous brothers and sisters, our Asiatic Native Americans and brothers, our fight's the same.
Yeah.
We can prove, again, I'm going back, always, it's called rinse and repeat, so people can really hone in. We can prove that we was here through historical documentation, depictions, paintings, along with yourself.
Yes, sir.
Our fight should be, again, we are supposed to be in the White House. This is our land. We need a seat at the table, all of us.
Yes, sir.
Who, again, is going to fight harder than us about our land? Who's going to make sure we do right by the people better than us? Yeah. The indigenous people.
Wow.
Why don't we have a seat on the cabinet? Why aren't we being advisors to the presidents? If nothing else, they told you that they utilized us for their wars.
Every time.
Cold talk, guerrilla warfare. Yeah. That was definitely a Yamasi thing. They talk about that. Camouflage, war paint, that's Native American indigenous people-ish.
And they use those tactics till this day. Yeah.
Come on, brother.
Special units and all that.
So who's going to teach you best? Who's going to have the interests of this country better than us? And we've already accepted you. You consider our white brothers and sisters, our blue-eyed brothers and sisters, however you identify, because I don't want to make this race.
Yeah.
We are human beings at the end of the day. But who best to have on your side? You can't keep ignoring us and talking about you're fighting for your country, but then openly tell the history books, we took it from these people. You're not saying I'm fighting for our country. And I'm fighting beside the Native American people or the African American people, however they want to identify. But you're not having these conversations. And this is why we're going to continue to be in the turmoil and issues that we have until our ancestors get what they're owed. Yeah. We're going to continue to be in this situation. And until their children step up and recognize who they are, they're going to continue to go through what they're going through because you're not honoring them. And stop all this. Everybody want to be a chief thing now that you know who you are. That's disrespectful.
Yes, sir.
Chiefs are servants. Once you find out who you are, stop naming yourself a chief. We are appointed by blood. We are appointed by our actions. We are appointed by what we do.
Responsibility.
It's the responsibility. And I don't want to harp on that. I just want to say that.
But Chief, you good.
No, we have to start coming together. And again, understanding the power that we wield in unity, not just as black people or black indigenous people or indigenous. I can't never say this word. Autochan. What's the word? Autochonus. What's the word?
Autochonus.
I can't
think I heard of that one.
Yeah, they use this all the time now. Autonomous or something like that. But however you want to identify is the point, because you have those who are they're the smartest of smart and they'll
come up with something.
Yeah, they'll be like, well, brother, they actually blah blah blah. And Chief
everybody has a label.
Oh my God, because everybody want to be smarter. You want to get on Instagram and you want to get on YouTube, and now you want to be the smartest person in the comment section. All right, cool. The point still is unifying.
Yes, sir.
The point is unifying. Yes, and inside of this interview, I've highlighted all the ways we can do it. I talked about Cahokia coin, Cahokia mounds, right? Cahokia represented the trading place where we all went. It was a central location that we went to trade and barter. So that's why we named the coin Cahokia coin, right?
Yes, sir.
I talked about all these different things that allows us to have that freedom and being able to come together and unify. We have no more excuses.
Yeah.
And we have no more excuses because now we live in a world where we all just voted a man that we trust in, a man who has disrupted the system for years. When I say we all, everybody, when I say not me, America voted President Trump in office because he doesn't fit the norm of politicians. So now where we at? Let's go. That's what you voted in. That's what you wanted. Let's go.
Disrupt the system.
Yeah. The system been disrupted.
Yeah.
We just never fell through with the whole plan. The system has always been that way. We just always fall victim to the gatekeepers. And we'll give our money, our time, our heart to people who haven't proven who they should be, that says they represent us, versus giving our time, our heart, and our money to a proven system or place or people who've invested in themselves and invested in you and invested in their nation or tribe. So I'm saying all this to you because, and I told you, we're going to level up with this. Now it's our time. And if we're not supporting black crypto now, indigenous crypto, however you want to identify, if we're not supporting these projects, what are we really doing? The freedom is right here with us now. We have that freedom. We have everything we need at our fingertips. Like I said, we have made people rich like that. It was a week. It was a week. People ain't caught on. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we're hoping avenues like yours and resources like yours and your podcast, we're hoping to empower what you have going on because you're empowering the people with information and you're bringing on some very powerful guests. Since our first introduction, you've brought on some very powerful guests. Some brothers I have a lot of respect for that's doing a thing. I'm hoping that we can all get together and talk about the future of who and what we are and understand what's going on around us and follow those signs. President Trump was elected. Bitcoin went to $92,000 a coin.
Stock market too. It went crazy.
It went crazy. Yeah. Went crazy. Can you imagine what we would have done if we had our own coin? That's what Cahokia coin is. That's what native coin is. N8IV is that's there you go. Are we going to support it? Let's go. Because you control that. Can't no one tell you when not to cash out? Can't no one tell you when to buy? You know what I'm saying? Right. But a minimum investment. We watch somebody, just to show you again, because this goes back to the financial well-being and economic stimulus. We had someone literally spend $50. That's his first person. $50. $36,000 that $50 turned into. We had somebody spend $5, made $2,000 off of it. Do we need the federal government to survive? No. It's not illegal. We literally are now able to print our own money legally. And we still ain't did nothing as tribes. So if you don't get anything else throughout this whole interview, circumvent everything else I said. Get out your feelings about the identity of the native people and indigenous people. That's not me. That we've already proven. That's not Chief Se'khu and the Yamasee people. That's history. Get out your feelings. Listen to the message of your brother. And understand now, nations, tribes, federally recognized and not, you can empower your people and take care of them the way you want through your own efforts.
Wow. Chief, you've been great. I only have a few more questions for you, but yes, I appreciate you greatly. Again, you brought out all the receipts. There's one book in particular, Stub Entries to Indents, Issued in Payment, Claims Against South Carolina, Growing Out of the Revolution. If you can you please break down what this book is and also what it means historically?
So y'all heard him say claims. That's exactly what these is. So Stub Entries to Indents, Issued in Payment of Claims Against South Carolina, Growing Out of the Revolution. All right, so books of G through H. This is one series of books. These are basically exactly what it is, claims. So inside of this, you will have a young man, just for example, might name Billy, who went before the Lord Proprietors to make a claim saying that I was put into indentured servitude. I was falsely put into servitude and I want my freedom as I am a Native American. Right. These are historical documents that you can find in this one actually comes out of South Carolina Library, but these are books that highlight the stories of each state. Each state has books like this, and they're in their interaction between their Lord Proprietors or the governing body that talks about who they interacted with, not just Indians, European settlers and whatnot, what happened, whether they felt like they was wronged. A lot of Europeans went there and say, hey, I lost a slave and this slave is over here staying with this other person and I want my slave back, and they have to produce paperwork and documents. But this is historical narratives of what our people went through, whether you're white or black. These are documents that tells you what the real history is. And a lot of times these documents are used for other authors to use and write and research and reference. Right? But these are very important documents because a lot of times you see your ancestors in here and that you didn't know you had, but they're in a certain region. Case in point, I know that there's a lot of Frasers. We have Frasers within our tribe. They talk about the Frasers. Okay? Specifically, certain Frasers who were European descent that mixed in with the Yamasee Indian tribe. You get what I'm saying? So we have to start taking and utilizing these resources and deep diving. And you can find these documents online. However, but what I did find out as well when I went to Washington and I sat with some people was a lot of this stuff is not accessible either. There is documents that you can't find in the library that they have not digitized. And that was crazy. Nor do they want you taking pictures of it either. So you can't go in there. And when I say powerful documents, when I say pieces of the puzzle, like I said in the last interview, there's a picture that's being painted and they got little pieces of the puzzle that if we align these pieces, you'll get the big picture. When you start reading these documents in the archives, when you go down to Washington and you go and get your little ID and whatnot, and you show, they don't want you taking photographs of it. You can't use your phones and they aren't digitized. And there's a reason behind that. But once you read it, you can't unread it.
That's right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
that's
sir.
When you take your book, your notepad, you write down the reference, the page, the source, and then you quote. Come on. And you quote and you empower yourself. And it just depends on what you want to do and how you want to empower yourself with information. Yes, sir. But again, there is so much that supports who we are, our identity. And a lot of this, again, will end a lot of these arguments that those who identify as freedmen have. Mm-hmm. Now, again, I've made it, and most of the time when we're doing podcasts and interviews, we're simplifying it for everybody, and it seems cut and dry. And people, it's not that cut and dry. People really don't want to accept it. But everything we did, we showed documentation this time. I bought the books out so you can read it.
And you can show it.
You can't argue it.
Yes, sir.
But we always, like I said before, we want to go back to what he has given us and the information he's given us. And that's a lot of time what we have in conversation when I'm doing TikToks and I'm doing different things like that. I'm having to have that argument with the African brothers and sisters, and they're like, well, how would you? And they'll take it to a whole nother level. Well, what were you called back in 1300? I don't know what we was called back in I can't pull up. I wasn't there. All I'm saying is understand that all the information we are receiving, my brothers and sisters, come from the Europeans. Mm-hmm. You're saying don't trust them, but then you're utilizing their resources. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is that as authors, who I have so much respect for, like Denise Bossie, who was not fearful or scared to rewrite the Yamasee Indian tribe and how we do exist. Yeah. Chester B. Prater, Stephen Hahn. These are people who obviously they found that whatever they was reading that extinguished our existence was false. And now what they did was they realized there were so many different supporting documents from so many different other people that was never referenced that will tell you the Yamasee didn't die. They was right here. When they started putting pen to pad and using common sense, and was like, oh, wow, how they couldn't be extinct because they're called Seminoles. Wow. You get what I'm saying? Yes, so sir. What I'm saying to my brothers and sisters who are Pan-African and they want to accept that, again, if that's your story, if you have proven your lineage and you know that your people come, as a matter of fact, I'll do one better for you. Senator Scott, his right-hand man, he's like a father to him, Al Jenkins, prove he's from Africa. He identifies as Gullah Geechee and has proven his bloodline to be from Africa. There's nothing I can say to that, man. Right. I can congratulate him because he can stand on that. Yeah. But if you can't, do some more research and find out where you come from. Don't argue a blanket statement and you haven't done the research. And I'm asking these brothers and sisters, where's your lineage? Before you argue the Africa theory, show me you're from Africa. Because other than that, that's cultural appropriation as well from you. You're saying you're something you're not. Prove it. And don't be mad at me because I'm telling you, just have a little common sense and honor your ancestors.